Hello, tribe. Good morning or good afternoon. You reached King Triton's tribe. I'm Matt, and I decided that I would give you a daily message today. It occurred to me there's probably some people that need to hear this. I know that I needed to hear this, but it's about acceptance and actually practicing the art of accepting. Um, and the good thing is for the impatient people, I won't have to timestamp this video because I'm just going to roll right into to the message. Um, but being able to accept things that happen to you, accept things that you need to change inside of yourself, accepting how you treat other people can be difficult. And this is one of the many lessons that must be learned on the twin flame journey, or in life in general. Uh, Separation is often the catalyst. I know it was in my case, the catalyst for uh, creating that acceptance where you're looking internally and externally and being able to accept the things that are inside of you, accept the things that happen to you, and accept the things that you couldn't do anything about. Um, so, with yourself, uh, basically what you need to look at is what is or was in your span of control, and then list them out. That helps me, but so that way I can see it on paper. The list of items that that I was able to accept are the things that I needed to accept that I haven't accepted. And take the time to yourself to do that. I mean, that's kind of like spending one-on-one time with yourself, listing those items out and understanding where you are in your life and the things that you need to work on. And do this work is very important. So what we want to do is we want to get to basically understand, accept, and then own it. And whether it's good or whether it's bad. For instance, some of the examples of things that we might need to understand, accept, and own are, pain or self-harm that we've caused, ourselves. How we've treated other people. I know that I haven't always treated everyone the greatest, and but I own that. And moving forward, I only want to treat people the way that I want to be treated, and I want to shine the light. So, it takes a very strong individual to be able to um, take ownership for their actions and accept it. Um, and another thing that you can do is how you contributed to your twin flame separation. I mean, I know that whenever I first separated, um, I I did a lot of projecting and not a lot of reflecting, um, and that's something that that you need to do is you need to take ownership of the things that you've done, and then accept it that you caused part of that separation, and then you need to do something about it. Put a plan into action to resolve it, and accepting your current life path. That might be a big issue for somebody. Um, However, these are not the only things that you need to accept. These are just a few examples. And then on a brighter note, some of the things you can accept is what you have done, or what you have to do to transform yourself into the individual that you want to be or need to be, or how you will treat other people. What's your plan to make sure that you're always being the light to other people, even the people that are being mean to you? I mean, for me, what works best for me whenever I meet people that I know they don't serve a purpose in my life is I just smile and just keep on walking. I carry the aspect of, if I don't have anything nice to say, I don't say anything at all. And that's very difficult for me sometimes because I become a very passionate person whenever whenever people like piss me off, or they treat people badly. I don't like that, and I really want to do something about it. But sometimes the best thing to do is to protect yourself and be the change you want to see in the world, which, you know, sometimes silence is the best answer. Another thing is how you will turn your weaknesses into an angelic type strength. You know, what are you going to do in order to embody that light, to make sure that your light does not get diminished and is always shining outward? And you know, because evil always wants to diminish your light, and it's easy to get us into that, you know, falling in the ego mindset where we do something that we probably shouldn't have done and we regret it in the long run. I know that was a big lesson for me to learn. I was in my ego a lot, and I think, you know, most humans have that type of experience. And the last thing I'll mention is how you will improve your life path. You know, are you on the path that you want to be on? Because, you know, you might be in the middle of a chapter of your story. Is that chapter going the way that you want it to go? If not, it's time to make a change. It's time to get back on to the path that you want to be on. And then accepting others. And when I talk about accepting others, I mean in a few different aspects, not just accepting, you know, who they are, but, you know, accepting them through unconditional love. Because you can't change or control people regardless if you think you can. You really can't. Even your kids, you can't even change, you can't even control them. I mean, you can think that you're controlling them, but honestly, they're going to do what they want to do regardless of what the outcome is going to be. That's why kids get in trouble. I mean, I know that I was a very hard-headed kid growing up. My parents would tell me not to do something, and I would just do it. And that's just how it is. But we need to accept people through unconditional love, and that's loving without limits. No expectations on that. You love them regardless of the situation. Now, it doesn't mean that when you know that you're going to put yourself in a situation where if you're being physically abused or any kind of harm to yourself, that you're just going to unconditionally love people no matter if they're whooping your butt or not. I mean, you know, if that's to happen, and then, you know, you should unconditional love, but you smile, walk away, get out of that situation. Number 2, accept who a person is, and believe a person when they tell you who they are. I mean, I think that's an old Maya Angelou saying. I mean, when a person tells you who they are, and, you know, and it doesn't even have to be with their mouth, it can be with their actions, believe them. And then number 3, accept that sometimes it's in our best interest to cut a man loose. And that's that. If you've seen Remember the Titans, it's a football movie. You know, one of the team captains was talking to Denzel Washington, which was the coach, and Denzel Washington told the team that, you know, if you make it through summer camp, then he won't cut a player. But, you know, towards the middle of the movie, you know, there was one player that just caused another player to get an injury because he didn't block a guy on purpose, and that guy broke that dude's hand. And so it was a part of a segregated school, and so the white kid that was supposed to block for let the guy through, and it broke the black quarterback's hand. And the white kid that was his best friend and was the captain of the team told Denzel Washington, pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, I think it's time to cut this dude Gary." And then Denzel Washington said, "You know my policy." He's like, "Well, just sometimes you got to cut a man loose." That might be one of those things where you analyze your situation and reflect on the people that are in your life, and if they're not serving a purpose, it might be time to cut a man loose. And by practicing acceptance, it brings you to inner peace and the ability to move freely throughout life without going against the grain, like a river, the path of least resistance. A river takes the path of least resistance and just flows nice and smoothly. And that's how you want to be in your life. You can learn a lot from nature. I know that whenever I was going through some of my most difficult times, I turned to nature, and nature actually is one of the things that got me through the situations that I went through. And acceptance is not forgetting. You will remember those things that happened and add that to your life experience in your tool bag. It's now a tool. Learn, move forward, and smile and shine your light, because you are the light. And I would just like to share an experience of mine. So growing up, I remember this very vivid. So I remember when I was in 6th or 7th grade, laying in my bed and thinking to myself, I accept my parents and who they are. My parents got divorced around when I was like 6 years old. And when I was laying in bed one night, I remember praying to God and telling God that I would never be like either one of my parents. And that was not to diminish my parents in any way, but my parents, they struggle in a lot of different ways, and it was just one of those things where I recognized that at a young age, and I never wanted to be like that. Like I told God and I promised myself that I would never, ever, ever, ever be like that. And so that's how I got to where I am today, because I knew, even, growing up in a very poor family that was, not the best family dynamics, I knew that there was something inside of me that that was greater. Like I had greater things to do in life. Like I needed to get out of where I was at. I needed to do whatever it took, whether or not I had to work a lot of hours, or I had to sacrifice myself to do something that I didn't really want to do, and so I did. And I didn't turn back. So I graduated high school and I joined the military, and I did all that on my own, and I never looked back. Like I went and I left, and you know what? That's how I got to where I am today, and through that experience, it made me a better person. But I tell you what, I went through a lot of bumps in the road, and actually, I probably was on a lot of places that were not even roads. So anyway, guys, I just want to let you know that acceptance is a very important lesson that we must all learn. And this might not apply to everybody, but at one point of your life, it will apply to you. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome Wednesday, and I appreciate your love and light, support, subscriptions, comments, likes, dislikes, and subscribing to my IG account, King Trident's Tribe. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and let's practice some acceptance. See you guys later.